everybody. I am Cherie, the money lady. I have a great guest with me today. We're talking about how to buy a home with bad credit. Yes, some of us have challenged credit. So um, we are here today to kind of get rid of some of the myths that are out there, to share with you some of the things that you're able to do. But more importantly than that, DSOL and I have a webinar happening on Thursday evening. So this is Thursday, November 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I am going to put the Zoom link in for people who want to register for that session. And this is a preview today, just to let everybody know that this specific content is going to be available to you. Totally free for you to come to the webinar. All you have to do is sign up and and get the information and knowledge that we have. So, D Saul, welcome.
What's going on? How you feeling today?
Doing pretty good, except I don't know if people can hear. I have a very excited Yorkie who wants to come inside desperately. So I probably am going to let him in just because he's barking and he's probably not going to stop.
It's all good.
Why don't you introduce yourself for the people really quickly? Let me get him and I'll be right back.
We'll do. Guys, I'm D Saul, man. I am a credit expert turned real estate agent, right? And that's important for me to say because throughout my time of learning about credit, I actually kind of stumbled upon the perfect way that credit reports need to look so lenders will qualify them for first-time home buyers to buy their home. So I like to pride myself in that. I love giving away credit education, as we'll do today. Love just being a strategist, looking at that credit report, figuring out ways to where we can get that profile just right. So when we send it to lenders like Cherie, they'll qualify you and you can move forward to buy your first home.
And I'm the money lady. That's what everybody calls me. I'm Cherie. I am licensed in 8 states. However, if you are in a state that I'm not licensed in, first of all, this information today is for nationwide, because the principles that we're going to talk today about are general principles with regards to you getting a mortgage. If I am licensed in your state and you want me to assist you with regards to getting pre-qualified or understanding what your options are, I'd love that. If I'm not licensed in your state, I will pass you along to somebody who is, going to treat you with the love and attention that I would give you myself. So, D. Saul, let's break a myth. Can a person buy a home with bad credit?
Absolutely.
All right. How do you define bad credit?
well. So let's say I would say a 500 credit score is bad credit, right? The score in itself is bad credit. But lenders such as yourself, you're able to do certain things with a 500 credit score depending on how much they're able to put down, how their life is set up outside of their credit report. So is it possible? Yes, it's possible. But does it make it harder? Is it a bigger challenge to buy a house with bad credit? Absolutely. And do I recommend buying a house with poor credit? I don't, because there are a couple of things that you need to be able to do personally as far as managing your money before you take on a big old mortgage note that's going to last 30 years. So if you haven't been responsible with, credit cards and personal loans, so forth throughout this time, then let's have a quick conversation about credit and credit building before you buy that home, because we definitely don't want you to make some of those bigger mistakes with something much bigger at risk.
Right. So I will give people a breakdown with regard to this topic. And the score itself is one piece of credit and understanding credit when it comes to purchasing a mortgage. It's also, as D. Saul was saying, it's also why your credit may be poorer than others. Do you have a recent bankruptcy? Do you have a short sale? Do you have a foreclosure on your property? That does muddy the water. Do you have a lot of collections, for example, or things like that? Also, I just have to say, um, sometimes people will do a whole bunch of disputes in order to increase their credit score, thinking that, oh, the mortgage company is going to see the increase in credit score. Well, if we see all these disputes that just happened 2 weeks ago, the underwriter is going to look at that suspiciously,
Yes.
or ask more questions. I should say that. Shouldn't say
Yes.
suspiciously. Ask more questions about that as well. So, DSOL mentioned 500 credit score. The truth is, from 500 to 580 credit score, the underwriter has to manually underwrite your loan file.
Mhm.
Super majority of lenders do not manually underwrite loan files. Our company does not manually underwrite loan files. I can send you to a trusted company that does, if that is what you're looking for and what you need. However, your rates and your terms are going to reflect that
Yes.
as well, right?
Right.
Between 580 and 640, you will have an option with regards to the FHA loan, or 580 to 639 credit score. The FHA loan will be your option. Well, what happens when you only have one option? Your rate and your terms are going to reflect the fact that you only have one option. So if you can get to 640 and above, then we have more options for you, because you'll also be open to conventional loans as well, which is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. The VA loans can go a little bit lower. USDA loans, I think, are at 620, right? But let's just say, for all the people who are listening here, if you can get to 640 and above, that gives us more options. And with more options to give you funding comes what? Better rates and better terms for
Terms.
your mortgage. Okay.
Yes.
And then the next level that we can really get you to is a 740 plus credit score. Why? Because you'll start to get even better rates and better terms. 740, 750 and above is, I've had people 760, 780, 800 credit score, and they get really nice deals. So, um, I always like to kind of give people that breakdown.
Yes.
And also say it's not just about having a 640 credit score. Again, it's also what's on your credit, how much debt you have, because the other thing we're looking at is your debt to income ratio as well when we are considering you for a loan. So, Desal, what are your thoughts with regards to that?
Wonderfully explained. And so the premise of our class that we'll be doing Thursday. So guys, if you haven't got tickets already, she left a comment in the comments, whether you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, with a link to register for our class on Thursday. And we're going to be talking about a lot of this in more detail. So absolutely right. There are options available for you if you have bad credit. But the premise of our show or our class on Thursday is going to show you not only the options that you have, but what steps can you take with your now bad credit to put you in a better position, in a better driver's seat to get all of what's available out there. There are home buyer grants and programs and different things that you can qualify for with a better credit. And in my experience, most people have a low credit score, but they don't necessarily know about credit. So one thing that I'm good at, and I've realized, is that I'm able to identify things on credit report where people think that they have, a year worth of bad credit to have to fix before they buy a home. But sometimes it's just a couple of fixes, quick
Mhm.
fixes. Sometimes it's just pay your credit cards down. Sometimes it's just, hey, add this installment account to your credit profile. Sometimes it's as simple as adding an authorized user to your credit profile. So The premise of our class is going to be able to identify where you are with your lower credit score and quick things that we could do to get you over that threshold. So now you have more opportunities for better rates and better terms.
Absolutely. So again, it's not just the credit score, it's what's in your credit as well. So oftentimes, outside of the credit score, the issue is the amount of debt that you have. Two big things I found with people when it comes to their credit score and getting a mortgage and their debt. Credit cards, credit card utilization. So basically using a lot, like if you have a $5,000 um, limit on your credit card and you're using close to the $5,000 as your
Yes.
balance, right? That's number one. Number two, I'll be honest with you, leased cars and high car notes is another big thing that I've seen
Yes.
people where they want to buy a house, let's say for 400,000, $500,000. And when we look at your credit report, where again, we're not just looking at your credit score, we're also looking at the things that's on your credit in order to get you approved for that mortgage. So we're going to talk a lot more on Thursday evening with regard to this. It's Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are not able to attend, you can register for the class and you will get the replay. Okay, you can register for the class. You will absolutely get the replay for this. And then you would also be able to, after you listen to the replay, ask us questions as well. So, um, if you wouldn't mind, Dsol, I am going to actually show this screen right here because this screen kind of sums up a little bit of what we're going to talk about, at least from my point of view, being a lender. And it's will you qualify for a mortgage? So let me hide this here. And there are 5 different bricks that I educate people on when it comes to qualifying for a mortgage. One is your income. You know, what's your income? How much is your income? Is Are you a W-2 employee? Are you self-employed? Things like that. Number two is your debt. And I keep harping on that when it comes to the credit because sometimes it's not the credit score, sometimes it's the debt or it's the things within your credit. Um, Number three is credit. Number four is assets. Assets is basically how much money you have available for down payment and closing costs. And do we need to tap into down payment assistance? Or can we get you some seller credits in order to help you reduce the amount of cash that you have to bring to the closing table? And then the final thing is the property itself. If you're buying some unique property, skyscraper, something like that, you're probably going to have a hard time getting a mortgage. But if you're buying a regular 3 bedroom, 2 bath house, or 4 bedroom, 3.5 bath house, you know, and it's just like a regular site built, stick built house, then the chances of you getting approved for that property is a lot better. So, um, I will admit to everybody, I borrowed that creatively from D. Saul. I added a little something to it, but he was the one that had introduced me to that. And I'm like, ooh, that's good. So I added a little bit to it. And, we're here to educate people with regards to this. So, D. Saul, anything you have, I'm actually going to add this back here to say
Yeah.
with regards to this single sheet of paper here that people can see.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll dive in on a couple of those things. The reason why we like to break it down like this, just to make buying a home or getting prepared to buy a home not seem so dreadful and so long and so much, right? So it's only a few things that you have to take care of before you move forward, right? And she said those are 5 pillars that a lender, she is a mortgage lender, which means she is the one receiving your applications and ultimately the one that's letting you know whether you're approved or denied. So these are the things that they're looking for, right? Looking at your income, right? You got to have a job, guys, because you got to be able to make payments on the mortgage loan that you have. right? There's a lot of misconceptions on that. We'll talk about that in the class on Thursday as well. But one of the things of misconception is you have to be at your job for a super, super long period of time. Sheree, do you want to talk a little bit about how long? Let's just say I got a question that I typically get. Hey, I just got a new job. Do I have to be at this job for 2 years in order to qualify for a mortgage loan?
The answer is if you have a new job, but it's in the same line of work, in the same industry, preferably, but the same line of work, then no, we can actually, as long as you get one pay stub, we're actually able to use your new job. And if you're getting a raise, we can use that increased amount of money. So, what I say to people is if you're an RN, you're a registered nurse at one hospital, and you go to being a registered nurse across town at the other hospital, we can absolutely use that. You do not have to be at the job for 2 years at your new job. You do need to be a registered nurse professionally for 2 years, though. Or if you have recent college transcripts, plus you have your new job, we can count that as well. So I work with a lot of people who they just graduated 6 months ago from college. They just got their job, and they're getting a house. That's perfectly fine. If you, for example, though, are going from being a chef to being an astronaut, yes, I'm talking tongue in cheek, but you're doing something completely different, then you have to be at the job and or in that industry for 2 years or doing that new job for 2 years, right? So if again you're going from being a chef to being an astronaut, I need to see you've been an astronaut for 2 years. And it's not Cherie saying this. You go to any lender, they're going to tell you the same thing, right? Because all of us follow something called the guidelines, which is all of us have the same rules that we're using in order to get you into that house. So, DSAL, I hope that answered your question. But I help plenty of people who are moving to a new job, and as long as they're in the same line of work, perfectly fine.
Yeah. So if you're in the same line of work, let's just say you working with your competitor, the same industry, you're doing the same work, but you got a whole new job with another company doing the same type of work, then that's fine, right? So I would always
Butter.
suggest talk to your.
Oh, go ahead. You went out for a second. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying, talk to your mortgage professional and find out exactly what your income or job needs to look like for you to qualify for a home. It's another. You mind pulling that slide back up? And wanted to talk about debt really quick. Cherie, I don't think I was able to leave my comment on the video about my DTI video. If you don't mind going in the private chat and copying and paste
Uh-huh.
that for me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it here.
So I did a quick video for people out there that wants to know how to calculate their DTI because this is just as important, if not more important, than your credit score when lenders look at your credit. And the reason why the DTI is important is because it's going to determine how much of a home you're able to buy. Let's say for your lifestyle, you want a 5 bedroom, 3 bath, house is going to be in the 500,000, 600, $700,000 range. Well, in order for that lender to qualify you for that price point, it has to fit within your DTI, your debt to income ratio. And what that really means is compared to how much debt you have and income you have, they want to make sure that that mortgage payment could fit in that and still have you in a comfortable situation, right? And I think a lot of the ratios is different per the loan that you have, but I know it can go up as high as around 50 something percent with FHA. Is that right? I don't know the exact
Uh,
numbers.
yeah. So the way that it works is that I don't want to get too complicated, but
Yeah.
for most people, for every dollar of debt that you have, you need to have $2 of income. So that is the way that I standardly explain it to
Mhm.
people. In other words, all the debt that you have, so that's monthly payments, if I were to pull up your credit report, I'm going to see you have a monthly payment for your student loans. If your student loans are on deferment, I have to add money in for that. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm going to see that you have a car note. I'm going to see that you have a couple of credit cards and what the minimum monthly payments are for those. You may have some medical debt that's on your credit report. Whatever is on your credit report, it's going to tell me, hey, there's a monthly amount of money on this credit report that is going out for you as the borrower. And then on top of that, I have to add the new mortgage that you're getting. So let's say that you want a $700,000 house, right? I have to include what your principal is going to be for that new house, what your interest, taxes, insurance, and any HOA or condo fees. I have to add all of that debt together. And you must have $2 of income for every $1 of debt, all of that pulled together. Now, is that a rough calculation? Yes. Can you have a little bit more debt than income? Yes. In for FHA loans, for VA loans, we do have some what do you call it, leeway there. But if you're doing a quick DTI calculation for yourself, the 2-to-1 thing is the best way for us to do. Because remember, I'm always telling you, the more options you have, the better the rate and terms are going to be. So
Yes.
if we are trying to get you um, mortgage ready, I'd rather us aim for you having the most amount of options. But go ahead,
Yes.
Dsol.
No, that's I've never heard it put that way, but that's very good to say, like 2 to 1, right? So
Mhm.
if you got, $5,000 worth of monthly debt, then a good rule of thumb is to have $10,000 worth of income coming in, right? And a quick thing that I want to say about that is that these are things that's on your credit report. So when you're calculating how much your debt is, these are items reported on your credit report. So this is not necessarily your car insurance, unless your car insurance is being reported on your credit report. So what lenders are going to do, they're going to go through your credit profile line by line and calculate the monthly payments per account on your credit report. Now, for credit card, let's say you have a $10,000 credit card balance. They're not going to add $10,000 to your credit to your DTI. They're going
Unless
to
it's
take
Amex.
whatever. Oh,
Unless
Amex
it's an
does
Amex.
that.
Unless it's,
Woo! I
I've
did
seen
not know
Amex
that.
where they have the entire, yes. So just be
I did not
aware.
know that. Okay. Well, so unless it's Amex, what they're going to do is look at that minimum payment amount that's
Mhm.
reported from that credit card each month. So if that's $50, they're going to, for each card, every card on there for your minimum payment, if it's $50, they're going to add $50 per credit card. For student loans, right? If they're in deferment or you're not making active payments on time, they still have to count it. They'll take a 0.5% of the balance towards your debt number on there. So on that video, I broke it down so you don't have to remember all of this. But things that's not on your credit report, like insurance or your cable bill or something like that, is not going to go towards your DTI. So you're going to literally calculate all of your monthly debt amounts, and then calculate how much you make income wise before taxes.
Income before taxes, yes.
Before taxes,
Mhm.
calculate your debt and make sure or hope to have your income double how much debt that you have. That's a good
Right.
rule of thumb. And as you said, FHA and VA loans are a little bit more lenient. So those ratios are a little bit higher. So you may can get away with being just a little bit under half. But loans like conventional loans is definitely going to be a little less. I think it's probably around 36%. I think from the
No,
last
it's
time I
the
checked.
2-to-1. No, the conventional loans, the two to
It's
one,
still 2 to 1.
it's 2-to-1.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
It's
Cool.
it's basically 50% DTI, but I don't want to confuse the general public. So that 2-to-1 rule is what you're looking for. Um,
Gotcha.
the other thing I want to warn people about now, there's a lot of reporting coming out that Klarna and these other buy now, pay later things are going to start reporting to your credit reports. So I think they've already started reporting. I haven't seen one yet, but it's my understanding that if they haven't already started reporting to credit reports and credit bureaus, they're going to start. So if you heavily use Klarna, I don't know the other buy now, pay later people, that's going to count against you. And oftentimes it's those 200, 300, $400 a month payments that you have to make that's on your credit report that knocks you out of getting the house that you really want. So, um, as crazy as it sounds, sometimes I'm not a fan of people using credit unnecessarily, but that thing you're putting on Klarna, it may be better for you to put it on your regular credit card. And that's all I'm going to
Yeah.
say there when we're looking at debt to income. So, and you and I could talk for hours with regards to this, but I do want to make sure everyone knows you can register for this free class. If you cannot attend, feel free to register and we will make sure to get you the replay. Okay. But his class is on Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Time with D. Saul and I. Did you have anything else that you wanted to go over with regards to this slide?
No, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to give you guys a quick preview of some of the gems that we'll be dropping on Thursday in our free masterclass. Look, we're gonna be breaking it down. Like I had one thing that I wanted to say about DTI just then, but I think I'm gonna keep that for the class because there are options with people with lower credit. If you got a car loan that is extremely too high and you need to get that down to qualify for a home, there are options for you with lower credit. So we're gonna be talking about that on the call. I'm excited. I'm excited to give people a tangible way or idea that they can actually buy a home in 2026, guys. Like Cherie, she I'm on her email list, so I'm constantly every week seeing a new home buyer that she got across the closing table every single week. Same for me. I don't know. I think I've last month I had about 3 or 4 closings of first time home buyers. So this is something that we do. So when your file come across our desk, we've already seen something similar to this before. So we know what it takes to get you there. So come to the class Thursday and find out a little bit more information on how we can make this dream a reality for you.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with people within our community, the Black community, I really want to see more of us become homeowners. Um, because look, two-thirds of wealth for the majority of Americans is in your home, right? So the best time to have purchased would have been 1990, 1995, 2000. The second time, best time to purchase is now, and continue to participate in in the wave with regards to like having a piece of something that is your own. So again, Thursday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, D. Saul and I are going to be there. We're going to break down how you can buy a home in 2026 with challenged credit, or even if your credit is good, come on anyway, because we're going to talk about income. We're going to talk about assets that you need and the properties that you want to consider and things like that, so that you can have a roadmap, a roadmap for
Yes, on the
success.
roadmap.
So,
And that's what it all comes down to. Everybody that joined the class on Thursday will get a
mm,
complimentary action plan from me, and that's going to be your roadmap to buying a home. Whether that's 6 months, a year, 3 months, 2 weeks, whatever, however long it should take, going to get a complimentary action plan from me myself, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do to buy a home in 2026. I'm looking forward. I'm excited.
I'm excited too, everybody. All right. We will see you Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, D. Saul. D
No
reached
problem.
out to me and was like, we got to do this for, the people. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So thank you for your leadership with regards to this. And let's make it happen, everybody. We will see you Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Bye bye.
Peace.